is not slowing down for us. As we see another pick-off kill, EDG continue to build pressure across the map as RNG scrabble and scramble to try and get kills and picks off of their own. It's actually, though, RNG, they're moving in on the first inhibitor.
Yeah, and Demolish Lysandra is nothing to sniff at as well. She's going to be able to take down this turret pretty quickly, and EDG decide to stop off on away for a quick light snack of that blue buff, and it's really starting to cost them turrets around the map.
I'm super impressed. So let's take a look back at what we missed. The start of what looks like a catch onto Ray.
Yeah, Ray trying to farm in mid lane while the rest of his team is up trying to pressure that top. You would expect RNG to try and go up and save that turret, but instead they realized, look, we've got Lysandra on the bottom lane. We can trade turrets here, pick up a kill and go for the mid lane as well. So RNG 2 to 3 steps ahead of EDG on that play.
RNG's late game beckoning, but they've done a fantastic job so far of matching up to what EDG have accomplished. I'm so surprised that RNG could make their way all the way to the inhibitor in the bottom lane and match exactly what it took most of EDG to do in the top lane with just a single Xiaohu in the bottom.
And you said it there. The late game from RNG is beckoning. The Guinsoo's Rage Blade has just been completed on Uzi as well. One more item, and he's pretty much at that unstoppable Vayne stage, particularly on the hands of a master like Uzi. You've now got to look at EDG and go, okay, this is where we've got to kick into overdrive with the macro. How can we try and avoid fighting Uzi at this point, but still manage to pick up a couple of towers here and a couple of towers there? The biggest issue that I've seen from this EDG lineup in the Demacia Cup, though, is its macro has not been their strong point. It's been this early stage aggression that has netted them wins, not their late game decision making.
It does feel like, yeah, when EDG can pick and choose where the action is happening, they are completely comfortable with that. But yeah, the second that RNG start making their own moves, they start reacting to EDG's plans with macro play of their own, and EDG just don't have anything in the bank for that. They seemingly are expecting their plans to go off and RNG to just have to stand by. Right now, we can see Xiaohu down in the bottom, not standing aside for EDG.
He's going to
providing a point of pressure, and there has to be a reaction, or this inhibitor is going to be taken.
Yeah, he's got to demolish as well. So that the inhib turret's gone. The inhibitor's going to be gone as well. But the question is, what can the other 4 members of RNG do? Can they dissuade this Baron?
Baron is going to get cancelled out. EDG, they lose the inhibitor turret for nothing as Xiaohu goes across the wall. Nice flash to get away. Engage now coming in. Counter engage from Let Me to bring that Ogre right into the center. The cast goes in. And Uzi escapes, or do they? On minimal health out the back of the fight. Brawling around the Baron pit as Uzi does get away. Hope takes out Xiaohu. The Baron may still be on the cards because EDG, they lost the inhibitor tower, but they will be able to get a push of their very own.
But RNG are still hanging around here. They want to try and force them off this Baron. There's still 3 members left. This could be another fight counter hit.
Down so very low. The minions are gathering in the bottom side. EDG's health bars are close to disappearing. Ming gets annihilated and the Baron goes across to EDG. RNG looks so close to bringing it back, but EDG, they've got the chance now to recover all that was lost.
And EDG showing that Uzi puts on his carry pants one leg at a time like the rest of us, making sure that he's not able to make the big play. He's forced out of the pit, forced back to the base, and EDG have managed to secure the Baron.
Let's take a look. The whole game turns on this moment as Xiaohu returns, getting the job done in the bottom lane, but the team fight, a whole different story.
Yeah, at the beginning, I thought this was fantastic. Mako with that massive knock-up onto 2 members, but in the backside, Uzi is completely forced out of the fight by Haru, and it's just disaster for the rest of the team then. We already said it. There's not enough follow-up damage after the burst of Lysandra to try and carry these team fights. They need Uzi to be involved, and when he's passed long gone over into the safety of his own jungle, it's open season for the rest of EDG.
You have to think of the strain it puts on RNG's decision-making process, though, when Uzi gets burst out so heavily and chased out the fight. I thought we'd see Hope, taking the damage and falling down in the same kind of way, but instead, RNG split their attention, end up with nothing, And now EDG with a Mountain Drake and a Cloud Drake already will pick up yet another build towards their Elder Dragon later on. But we really need to see what EDG are going to do with this Baron buff.
But that's the thing, is that, okay, they got the Baron buff, but they're waiting on a Cloud Drake instead of pushing lanes. Like, they don't have pressure in that top lane. The mid lane is being cleared out at the moment by the rest of RNG, and they're pushing into a super minion wave. Yes, they can get this outer turret, but if you're RNG, you are happy to sack that turret and just wait out this Baron buff.
At least it does keep the super minions from making too much of an impact, but we can't praise enough Xiaohu pushing to that bottom side more or less single-handedly, buying this advantage for RNG that keeps the walls of EDG from the door for the moment. Now push right up to those inhibitor towers. Even with the Baroned up minions, EDG struggling to find purchase on the next prize.
They are pushing in, though. That Call of the Forge God could be devastating.
Comes across, gets the double knockup, just trying to buy space for EDG, and Hope, in particular, to hit that tower. That cannon minion, powered by the Baron buff, will be able to hit from range that inhibitor. So close to going down, but one shot away.
They will manage to hold this for the moment, but mid lane is under siege as well. It feels like only a matter of time before RNG have lost their base. It is Hope who steps up. He takes down the tower. Now he wants more.
Culling right into the face of RNG. That inhibitor will fall down with the hopes of RNG. They look so good in this game, but Uzi being kept at arm's length. But in this fight and by EDG as a whole, Xiaohu, the savior of RNG, forced into those invincibility frames, but that time is over. Inhibitor number 2 being threatened. Explosive cast goes down. Nice triple knockup. RNG, can they save it here? The health bars are disappearing en masse. Ming low. But they do take out Mako, Scout, and Harrow down. Now it's just Ray and Hope left up on the field. It's Hope being driven away from the base. The second inhibitor stands, and RNG, they keep their hope alive while Hope dies for EDG.
And a complete turnaround there. Xiaohu gets caught out, but Karsa, with the 3-man engage, manages to set Uzi up to wipe the Summoner's Rift clear of all members of EDG. Now they are working their way down towards the mid lane. Yes, the base is in shambles, but they hold on for yet another fight.
Absolutely incredible. Let's see what RNG did. What was the secret recipe for success?
I mean, you can see here, Xiaohu gets completely caught out, forced to go into the stasis early, but watch this engage from Karsa. It connects onto so many members of EDG here and forces the fight so split out. You can see Hope way out on the back line, and Uzi, untouched this entire fight, is free hitting on all of the members that he wants to, can move wherever he wants to position, and decimate the EDG health bars. Absolutely phenomenal play from the EDG or NG roster.
I mean, you get to see the difference between Hope and Uzi here. You imagine, it's so easy to imagine a situation, if Uzi is the one to survive by themselves of turning around the fight, but for Hope, so much more reliant on the rest of the team. And note as well, you mentioned those 3 items for Uzi, very much in hand, has that QSS as well. The opportunity for EDG to take the teeth from the RNG lineup starting to slip away.
And now you're looking at the big difference between when Uzi's allowed to fight versus when Uzi is forced to retreat. We saw it in around that Baron pit where Uzi got bursted out. If they can avoid that happening, Uzi can very much take over this game, but it's not going to be in these tight corridors. Uzi needs open spaces. He needs places to tumble to. They need to be careful where RNG try and take these fights.
Well, before it was EDG forcing themselves down into bottom lane to keep the super minions at bay. Now RNG will have to consider that into their play as well. The perfect place, of course, for EDG to have the inhibitor down with the Baron up shortly and another Mountain Drake as well. So far, objective control very firmly in favor of EDG. RNG, they've shown incredible tenacity to hold on this far, and they don't seem to show any signs of letting go.
And now I want you to feast your eyes onto Zhao Hu. He's got that stopwatch available. He has the ultimate and the flash available. This is going to be the big engage tool for RNG. He's going to be looking to see if he can get a flank over a wall directly into the back line. And particularly when you can see Hope playing a little bit far forward there, that could be the go-to tool. Instead, it's the call of the Forge God.
Full shot hits two, Scout the one engaged on, but still too tankish. Zhao Hu gets blown to pieces. RNG now in full retreat as Ming annihilated as well. That's 3 members down. We could be looking at an ace. Uzi, the last hope of RNG, has been annihilated. EDG take themselves the clean ace. They are going to run it up mid. The broken bottom lane inhibitor just going to make it all the faster. Those death timers are enormous.
And when I said look at Zhao Hu, I didn't mean blink and you'd miss it. He is wiped from the map. No ultimate use, no stopwatch use. EDG have just torn through RNG. And watch as gods fall, because RNG have been knocked out of the Demacia Cup.
The world semi-finalists have to take the knee. EDG, what a fantastically executed last game of day 2, which means they will continue in the Demacia Championship, where RNG will not. A very tough journey from here on out, but for right now, celebration time for EDG, an incredibly hard-fought victory.
And redemption and revenge for EDG as well. They were knocked down into the lower bracket by RNG, but by God did they come back and say that was undeserved. We're the ones that are advancing into the 3rd day of this cup. And what a way to do it. Even bringing in Hope to shut down Uzi and take a game completely off of RNG.
Yeah, I mean, you have to imagine the pressure on Hope in that game, but what a performance. Guys, we need to know exactly what happened in that last game, so our analysts are raring and ready to lay down the facts and take us through everything that happened. So guys, on the analyst desk, we have been Ghosty Dreams and myself, Peter Cannavit Harnell. Analyst desk, please do take us home.
Hope. Thank you.
All right, and there you have it, everybody. If that wasn't the only way to end an unofficial English stream of the Demacia Cup with a 3-hour pause game 1, 2 DCs during game 3, and we got to see Uzi on Vayne. That's pretty much everything that we could have asked for. A nice bow to wrap up the series. Congratulations, though, to EG for taking the victory over RNG, meaning Royal Never Give Up. They're out of the Demacia Cup tournament. That was their last chance, whereas EDG get to continue on in the losers bracket. Return, I'm going to pass it off to you first. Break down how EDG was able to take the victory there.
I mean, very frankly put, especially with how RNG played the early to mid game. Of course, it wasn't anything overly clean, but the way that Uzi was able to hang on to the bottom lane, I know Lewis wants to get in a little bit more, so I'll keep that one a little bit light, but the way that they were able to stay in the game really should have meant that RNG, it was basically their game to lose at that point, and then they lost it. The last few engages were quite suspect, especially the final one coming out from Ming to end that game meant that, you know, RNG couldn't fight, and EDG, they just had all the tools ready.
Yeah, it felt like EDG had an answer for everything RNG was trying to do. They had the Alistair, Gragas, Lissandra, a lot of initiation, but Vayne, such a short-range AD carry, felt like anytime Uzi tried to get in those fights, there was always going to be the Swain and the Xin Zhao just jumping right on top of Uzi. So, Louis, break down how you saw Uzi showing up in this specific game, because it really felt like the Uzi show for a while when it looked like RNG might be coming back.
Yeah, it's rough. Coming into this game, of course, they gave over the Lucian pretty much like best or second best AD carry, depending on who you ask. And basically, Uzi called out Hope here, of course, being the substitute AD carry. Said, okay, I'm going to play Vayne into you. Vayne, kind of known as a counter pick to Lucian, but Lucian that high in power level that I don't think you can really count that. And he didn't show up. He was basically non-existent for a long time, and his team really actually needed him at that time, at the 2-item mark. There should have been something from him, but obviously he couldn't because he didn't have the items. And even when he came through, the performance just what the performance wasn't really there, but also it was just too late at that point. We already saw like Haro just being able to basically solo kill him in the earlier stages. To be honest, Haro, a beacon, like Haro actually was the beacon of hope that hope wasn't in this game. But yeah, I think if Uzi came in here saying, okay, I'm gonna play the Demacia Cup this time around. I'm not gonna send Abel in, and I'm gonna take this seriously. And then he basically threw that out for the last game, in my opinion.
So do you think that might have been a little bit of a, I don't want to say troll pick, but kind of a flexing on hope pick, taking the vein?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for sure, and also I'm very curious to see how much exhaustion may have had an effect as RNG, started us off, was the second series of the day. We had about that 4-hour delay going into the last game. Got me wondering whether or not Uzi was really in the right mindset, or at least the right mindset. Yeah, probably the best way to put that, to pull out the main on such a stage. But you know what? It wasn't clean enough. It wasn't the Uzi carry performance that it needed to be to just straight up carry the game.
But on the flip side, I think that there's a really cool story here for Hope as an AD carry. Subbing in Game 3 versus RNG. iBoy, again, also thinking about mental fatigue. Had a long day of games before that and a very long pause. Sometimes bringing in that fresh player can have a big difference. And also getting to topple Uzi in a game feels pretty good, despite maybe not showing up the best in lane. I think it's still cool that Hope was able to show up later in the game, provide that damage on Luge. Now we're looking at the stats right here, actually. Convenient.
It is from summer, and Hope coming into this,
Okay.
if you're looking at stats, you did say Hope, 33% win rate overall when EDG did use him. Was still able to put up about the same damage per minute numbers. The KDA is pretty similar to Uzi. It's just that gold per minute. So again, Hope can stand up and can, come to the table when they need to play.
Yeah.
To be fair, obviously a bit of a lower sample size here for Hope. But
Yeah, I think there was only 3 games. That was the
Hey,
33% win rate.
here's the thing. If you're losing 66% of the games and still able to keep your numbers like that, I say that's still pretty good.
yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
So
Anyway,
yeah,
guys.
I think... Sorry.
Yeah, Opal, do you want to piece us out, or do you want me to
Yeah,
take this?
I would love.
It's your stream.
Well, no, go ahead, Servakit. Send us home because, guys, we are approaching pretty much 14 hours here, and I'd like everyone to get some sleep. I'd like to get a quick thanks to, of course, the guys sticking with us over the course of the night in chat. As always, make sure to follow the page, guys, so you get the notification for tomorrow. Again, sorry about the 1 or 2 DCs during Game 3. I'm gonna go get a new microwave, apparently. I don't know how to fix this, but we'll figure it
Yeah,
out.
you gotta figure that out, man. I don't know. Well, thanks everybody for stopping by. It was a lot of fun. I'm happy we got through every single series tonight. Didn't have to skip any, despite the crazy long delays. And we have more coming up tonight, I guess.
Yep, it's tonight.
In a couple hours. We'll try to get some naps in before then, so make sure you stick around for those. But until then, have a great day.
Bye.